Decrease in rainfall and successive lean periods have culminated in a global food crisis. Given this situation, the European Union has granted a financial support to some African countries through a major program supported by the IFAD, with an eye to fight poverty and to increase and sustain agricultural productivity and food security for rural families. With this financial assistance from the EU and IFAD, Senegal has decided to be strongly supportive of seeds production. Groundnuts account for a huge majority of livestock feed for both fattening stocks and working animals. It represents a source of income for 6 out of 10 producers.
We need to work on the improvement of our agricultural productivity. First of all, we must focus on water, without which we cannot talk about agriculture, and then soil fertility follows. Seeds represent the most important factor. So our major concern is to find out how to supply our producers with sufficient quantities of seeds.
Working with certified groundnut seeds, a farmer can increase his production working on similar surface of farming land compared to his peers.
In 2007, certified seeds production testing operations conducted by small-scale family farmers generated satisfactory results, thus showing their ability to manage so important a sector. Other subsequent programs pitched in to help organize smallholders and enhance their professionalism. The Food Facility Program seeks to consolidate these achievements.
It was an ongoing process, so we needed not only to consolidate it by providing support in terms of equipment, supply, production, and capacity building, but also it was important to provide support upstream in terms of breeder seed production.
The program is run by ISRA, the Senegalese Agricultural Research Institute, which deals with the production of breeder seeds, and by ASPRODEB, which is in charge of supporting the professionalization of the stakeholders of seed subsector.
Replenishing groundnut seed capital involves all the links of the value chain. It includes the seeds aspects, but also all the stakeholders involved in the groundnut sector.
The cooperatives are set up through an inclusive, democratic and transparent process, and it is entirely handled by the producers themselves.
L'ASPRODEB, dans le cadre de ce travail,
within the framework of these challenging tasks, first of all, together with government institutions and producer organizations, ASPRODEB identifies the rural communities that have more potential in seeds production. Once such communities are identified, ASPRODEB then conducts outreach and sensitization campaigns at grassroots level in order to establish an organization to manage seeds production. So it has taken a huge amount of hard work for the seeds production cooperatives to become a reality.
We have discussed with farmers, producers, associations, and among others, authorities in charge of decentralization with an eye to organize assemblies in an ultimate goal of unifying all the producers.
Act 1. The selection of producers. It was based on an intensive producer awareness campaign. The end goal is to spot the most important operational ones with a clear definition of their roles and missions. After placing the cooperatives at the forefront of the strategy in the participatory process, selection was made based on technical criteria in order to foster the emergence of 19 out of the 20 initially targeted.
Not only they produce certified seeds, but also their cooperatives are increasing in number. This means that regarding the cooperatives, a significant change has already emerged.
The private intermediaries have started to give way to the real stakeholders of the sector. ASPRODEB intends to remove them to empower and mainstream the producers at the heart of the entire value chain of the industry. This is indeed the beginning of a new era for farmers. According to the Senegalese National Network of Groundnut Seed Production Cooperatives, seed capital replenishment through the cooperatives has become a reality. In this network, Certified cooperatives are only entitled to a maximum of 6 shares, while in the past it used to be 10. Now 17 new cooperatives have come on board. In this very framework, we have benefited from the support of our key partners, more precisely ASPRODEB. The cooperative network has become a reality. The institutional framework set up by ASPRODEB lays the foundations of the sustainability of the process.
We have in our technical staffs a director, a technician, and 3 supervisors who support us all through the work.
We launch nationally a public call for bids, and afterwards, we evaluated the different bidders' proposals. This is how we did the selection.
Increased efforts have been made to empower small-scale family farmers and to ensure enabling conditions for their professionalization. Adequate equipment has been made available to facilitate the inception of a quality process. The winnowing machines have replaced the riddles because they would crush the seeds in addition to having poor sorting results.
We are gathered here to receive the new equipment brought by ASPRODEB, including 10 mechanical reapers. In the past, we received these donations: 1 engine-powered winnowing machine, 5 motorcycles for the personnel, an automatic weighting machine, and 2 tarpaulins.
The advent of automatic weighers facilitates transparent commercialization. Thanks to the confidence of banks, including the National Fund for Agricultural Development, known as CNCAS, the cooperatives have built a partnership that allows them to have access to credit for activities of production and commercialization. Regarding commercialization, in the framework of this project, the government of Senegal and IFAD have agreed to put in place a leverage fund. Actually, a leverage fund is a fund whereby any time an amount of money is deposited at CNCAS, CNCAS will multiply such money by 2 or even 3. This is meant to enable the producers to have the funds required to buy their own production, to stock it, and resell it in due time. Qualitatively, capacity building sessions on issues related not only to the governance and management of cooperatives, financial legislation, but also the dissemination of good practices were encouraged. This gives rise to a new type of actors. Seed producers bring their production here and we take care of the rest. Their product goes through the winnowing machine to get the bad seeds removed. After sorting out the good seeds, we put them in bags and label the bags of each producer. Then the seeds department, within the framework of the DRDR, collects samples for testing. After the test, the seeds department certifies and rates the seeds, so the poor quality seeds are disqualified. The conditions for quality productions being met, the project embarked on the replenishment of seeds capital. Special heed is paid to the development of groundnut seeds.
Each and every seed producer needs to master and comply with a number of standards such as isolation, mixing up, and cleanup. ASPRODEB does not go without helping. Actually, the supervisor is thereby present to recall good working practices that were taught during the training sessions.
The availability of certified seeds, both in quality and quantity, is the first and most important input in the promotion of groundnut production. The battle is won by the seeds production cooperatives, which have begun to generate socio-economic impacts. I have noticed that we have reached the production records of 1995, when groundnut production was very important. Even those who are not members of the cooperative are trying to duplicate our groundnut production practices.
Groundnut production has generated huge impacts in our rural community. In terms of progress, I can give the example of Kahi, where some producers have built houses, some have brought motorbike taxis, some have opened shops, and others have brought a pair of drought oxen.
Environmental awareness is central to the whole process as it helps mitigate the adverse effects of production on the environment. Therefore, it paves the way for intensified production.
When you practice slash and burn farming in huge surfaces without having good seeds, it will necessarily affect the environment.
However, cooperatives are facing problems related to the lack of warehouses and unfair competition of uncertified seeds. Unfortunately, we are sharing this warehouse with a private operator who is not involved in seed production while we are seed producers. Last year, we produced 603 tons and we were compelled to let extra production in open air. Actually, we cannot afford protecting seeds that are kept in open air.
What is unacceptable is that the so-called ungraded groundnut costs 150 francs, while our certified products would sell at 250 francs. On top of that, we face too many difficulties.
A cooperative management software has been developed to keep track of each producer and their activities. This provides information on the willingness of the project leaders to support decision-making by a reasoned argument. How to share the new experience of groundnut seed capital replenishment and to capitalize on the lessons learned in order to popularize them among the peasantry. ASPRODEB has considered producing fact sheets, manuals, capitalization booklets, documentaries and broadcasting radio programs in rural and community radios. The objective is to consolidate the experience gleaned by the Senegalese cooperatives in the field of production of certified seeds. Upon its completion, the Food Facility Program has worked towards making a lasting contribution to the revival of the groundnut sector.
Le capital est en train de se reconstituer.
We are replenishing the capital and production is also increasing for the benefit of all the producers. To meet the needs in seeds, we think it is worth supporting them at least for a few more years, and the experience they will have gleaned will enable them to proceed on their own.
We
would like to build links with this program and identify other partners in the sub-region who could help capitalize on the achievements of the food facility in Senegal.
The government will definitely come up with new means to pursue the process because this will not only help ensure food security, but also help alleviate poverty.
D'assurer la sécurité alimentaire, mais aussi de réduction de la pauvreté.
A network of 30 cooperatives covering 8 of the 14 regions of the country has been set up. Its contribution to the organization of certified seed growers within grassroots cooperatives was crucial to the professionalization of farmers. This actually gives room for hope. This will result in the progressive and sustainable control and management of food security by family farms in Senegal.